Welcome on into your unrushed reading, and let's clear the space. We've got a lot to get into, and I had other signs that were requested, but I decided to put yours first because this lunar eclipse coming up on the 17th of September, it's in your sign. Saturn has been in your sign. Oh my gosh, my heart goes out to y'all. Next year, the nodes are shifting into Pisces and Virgo. So, I mean, listen, if there's any sign that is just going through stuff, feeling stuff, it would be Pisces. Now, I mean, Aries as well, Libra. I mean, there's some other ones there I really want to get to. But, yeah, I'm going to put you first. Front and center. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit, for clear messages. And you know what? I want to start with, let's get an oracle card for September. I'm going to do 5 card spreads for October, November, December. But let's just look at what's going on this month. I mean, we're almost halfway through it, right? Please show me the energy for Pisces, and that just came out. New beginnings, truth, and gratitude. Well, I suppose so, considering that Saturn and Neptune have been in Pisces, and that has been collectively having us all really deal with issues as far as what we're putting our faith in, what we're believing in. And these issues of what's real, what's true, what's honest, what can be substantiated is just going to carry on through for the next year and a half. But unfortunately, there's been a fog around that, right? With Neptune there, a lot of people are unfortunately still in a bit of fantasy land. Others are dealing with some pretty harsh wake-up calls. But the good news is it's ushering in new beginnings. Some of you, you're giving birth to something new, okay? It might have to do with mothering. It might have to do with creative projects. I'm seeing about the issue of truth. There being a matter of duplicity, smoke and mirrors, people having to look beyond that and having gratitude for these lessons and these new starts with a clearer vision. Although for some of you, the clearer vision might have really sobered you up to some things that sometimes we want to keep the dream alive, right? And by the way, I was just doing a collective reading for my Rumble channel for the Political Astro Tarot, and this came up about collectively how we are all having to we're dealing with some wake-up calls, and even if you just want to Neptune out, it's gonna be really uncomfortable to continue doing that. Side note, if I'm talking too slow with my southern drawl, you can click on the gear icon and adjust the playback speed, usually to 1.25. Will have me going a little bit faster. All right, so, and let's talk, well, y'all are disappointed about something. And I'm going to say, as I was preparing for this reading and really started getting into your energy, I felt some kind of emotional drain. And I started second guessing, like, do I really want to do this reading right now? And I'm like, yeah, why not? And I'm like, ah. But I was checking in with what I was feeling, and it was feeling a bit of a drain. And there's no need for me to feel drained. There's absolutely no reason. So I think I'm picking up on the energy from some of y'all. It might have to do with a family matter. Somebody in the family disappointing you. And here we go with the fives again. Where there's been a disagreement or some kind of emotional conflict, and you two don't see eye to eye. And it might be over different values, different emotional values, and I think that there could be some adversarial energy, and as upsetting as this may be, maybe it needs to be clearly conveyed to this other person that you're not trying to be oppositional, and there's no need for anybody to be oppositional with you. Yeah. Okay, let me talk to you about this lunar eclipse on the 17th in your sign. It is happening in your first house, obviously concerning you, yourself, your body. I do want to caution you to look out for issues having to do, when we're talking about your body, let's talk about health for a moment. Matters of having panic attacks, anxiety, and you know what, based on those two at their cards that came out, it might not be you, but somebody around you, because first house implies seventh, right? It's these houses, that this axis of self versus other, and I saw a lot of others with those two fives, possibly in a family dynamic. Watch out for anxiety within yourself and others coming through. Panic attacks, insomnia, there could be mental illness, matters of anger, stress, irritability, temper tantrums. There's a need to temper one's emotions. Somebody might be dealing with their adrenals being tabbed out, or their cortisol levels out of whack, out of balance. And definitely as we get into next year, the energies showing up with the nodes going, North Node in Pisces, and Saturn moving out of Pisces into Aries. We're just going to continue seeing more of this going on, but it's taking on a component of anger, so beware of that. And why am I even bothering to get into what's going on next year is well, I mean, we're talking about eclipses, we're talking about energies that will be unfolding over the next 6 months. So these are far-reaching energies. And I also want to prepare you for what's up ahead. I mean, that's how we get a good game plan, as we say, well, where is the energy right now, and where is it headed 6 months from now? This is where it's headed. You and other people, and hell, myself included, I've got a Pisces stellium. And listen, I am telling you factually the astrology, when we get into body astrology, right, and your impact in your first house. But I can tell you, with my Pisces stellium in 2024, I had my very first panic attack, and I had to go to the ER. Yep, absolutely did. And you know what? I'm not, number one, those of you who know me know, I don't go to a hospital for anything. I don't even go to a hospital to birth babies. I've had midwives. Okay? I don't go, no. I don't do it. But I had a panic attack, and I wasn't entirely sure what it was because, well, it crossed my mind it could be a panic attack, but I felt at the time I'm okay emotionally. But so as a Pisces, you're like a sponge. You're pulling in from the ether. So maybe it's not your own. Maybe you've got your own vessel under control. But that empath in you that is tapping into the ether of humanity is absorbing the energetic signature of anxiety that is rising up in so many people. So please take good care of your body with this eclipse in your first house. It is deeply personal. If it's not physical, involving your physical body, it's deeply personal. Let me see what else. That first house might also have to do with your immune system and your resilience to, yes, I would say stress and stuff like that. Okay, so also, and let me help you to get a little bit more context here. Think back to think back to last March 10th of 2024, when this cycle began, which we're now completing, right? We had a new moon in Pisces. So what was going on for you March 10th? Were you going through some changes? Were these changes having to do with karmic cycles going round and round about something? I don't know why I just heard circling the drain. Circling the drain, okay? Some of you needed to let go of something and release something about yourself. And maybe you know it, but you've been circling the drain. It's been a slow release, okay? Because when we're looking at this Wheel of Fortune, it's something fated. It might have to do with karmic cycles. There could have been a turning point in March where you decided, I've got to change things. I've got to do it. And for some of you, it might have to do with an ex, going round and round with an ex. For others of you, this might be a pattern, a karmic pattern that you have had in your life. And it might not have been exactly around March 10th that this was so apparent to you, but sometime between now and then, you had an experience where you're like, I've been here before, I've done this before, and I'm tired of this shit. And I will not be doing this anymore. Or we're not going to do it like this. I can think of something, with my Pisces stellium. I had a moment where I'm like, I'm not going to be silenced anymore. But that really a lot tied into my Chiron placement as well, getting triggered. I mean, so you got to look at the chart, as a whole, right? But for me, I just decided I'm standing my ground, and I'm not going to keep being muzzled by people. I'm not going to keep having people tell me to shut up and why'd you say that and blah, 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 because it's an uncomfortable truth. And people like to be lied to. Aquarius problems. But I digress. And so I said, you know what? I'm too old for this, and I'm not going to have, I had my parents tell me to shut up, and I had my, ex-husband tell me to shut up, and I had, next year. And I'm not going to keep doing this. I'm not going to keep going round and round with these people. I'm going to stand my ground, and I'm going to use my voice. Because this circling the drain, like, no, out you go, out you go. I will not be taking any more muzzles from people, right? Some people in my family got really pissed off about that too. Like, oh no, we like that karmic cycle. Keep doing that. Keep shutting up when we tell you to. Keep staying in your place when we tell you to. Whatever this is for you, Pisces, you've been circling the drain, and it's time to flush it down the what, okay? And it's something you have in the first house you have identified with. And that's particularly for Pisces risings, by the way. If you have a Pisces moon like I do, this is something about your emotional nature. If it's your Venus in Pisces, as I have, it's your love nature. Take it how it applies. Yep, so what did I say? That's at the foundation. Falling down. We're not doing this anymore. That was built on not a solid foundation. This is fated. This is both of these major arcana, spirit stepping in saying, haha, this little pattern that you do, no more. That's trash. That's what somebody tried to do in their own ego, their own self-preservation or vain attempts at ascending something in life. But there's no integrity or truth to it. It's got to go. It's got to go. Ooh, deep message. We're swimming in it, huh? This is something about how you're dealing with other people, okay? How you're showing up in these relationships with other people. And going back to this eclipse on the 17th in your sign, you might not be really clear. I mean, I'm telling you, some of you with Neptune there as well as Saturn, some of you have been dealing with limitations, restrictions, pushback from other people. And you're like, but why? Right? Back to my example, but I just want to speak the truth. Why is it so important that in order for us to be in a relationship, I have to make you feel good about bad decisions? Is that really a quality relationship for either of us to be having? I mean, why would you ask somebody to do that? I can't keep building. We can't keep going around in circles building this unsustainable relationship. Why would you fight me over that? And with Neptune around you, I don't know if you're seeing clearly or if you are being seen clearly by others. There's definitely pushback, restriction, limitation, karma that's on you. I know you know it, because I went through Saturn and Aquarius before I went through Pisces. I'll be so glad when it gets on out of Pisces too. Like, oh God, just please, you know? But these limitations that you're feeling within yourself in relation to other people, pushing back, resisting things, like you're trying to assert yourself. You're trying to break these karmic cycles with Saturn in your sign. But I don't know, people want to keep this shit going. They do. They want to keep it going. And you're like, why? Why would you want to keep building this? We're just going to fall out. And you know what? Black Moon Lilith is in Libra during this eclipse. The South Node is in Libra during this eclipse. And so you know what that means. Some relationships are going to have to go, or at least for now, until people rework things within themselves. But this is, dealing with a lot of bitchiness from other people. Have you been dealing with relationships? And I'm going to say also, particularly as I look closer, that Black Moon Lilith and South Node is in your 8th house. So these could be family members. It could be, people that you have sexual relationship with, but it could also be people through marriage, extended family, you fill in the blank, people you share resources with. And so, unfortunately, as my youngest daughter would like to say in the vernacular of Gen Z, bitches be bonkers, right? Like, it seems like that's what y'all are dealing with. There's got to be some understanding here. There's got to be some understanding here, but I don't know where it is. Maybe getting on the same page in terms of shared resources and how do we collaborate and work together. But if you're not agreed upon dealing with substance and truth and reality, because some people are still chasing after some Neptunian fantasy land, dealing with what they want rather than what it is, right? I don't know when that's going to come in. And I see y'all are going through a lot of changes also in terms of what you have idealized with soulmates. As I see, Pluto in Aquarius is transiting your 11th house. Well, it's actually in Capricorn at the time of this lunar eclipse. But it's, again, changes with people, changes with relationship, changes with humanity at large, the way people do relationships. And with it in your 11th house, any kind of, pie in the sky illusions that you've had, that other people have had, it's time to flush it down the dang toilet and deal with, the reality, so that you can have a new beginning. You can manifest something new. You can give birth to something new. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave that for, September and that lunar eclipse. We're going to go deeper into a 5-card spread for October, when you have the solar eclipse in Libra on October 2nd. And that is hitting your 8th house, again, where we're seeing something having to do with sexual unions, power dynamics, spouse's income, family dynamics, intimacy, very private stuff. But you have a new beginning in those kind of relationships when we're talking about this solar eclipse in Libra. This could also bring up legal issues. It's also a very karmic house when we're looking at 8th house. So you will have Jupiter in your 9th house during this time. I'm sorry, my bad, your 4th house. So this is putting a magnifying lens on home, family, sense of belonging. And with Jupiter going retrograde, on the 9th, you could be looking back, in Gemini, it's like looking back over information, the facts. This could be a family member who is Gemini or has Gemini, prominent Gemini placements, okay? But you could be definitely re-examining something in a family dynamic, maybe a way of thinking, and how you go about getting expansion with home, family, sense of belonging. Someone might be moving, or rethinking a move. And then Mercury will enter Scorpio in your 9th house on the 13th. So I think your mind is going to be a lot on this really private stuff and your beliefs in that and what you put your faith in. And then on the 17th, there will be a full moon in Aries in your 2nd house. So, something coming to completion, culmination, having to do with your personal income. But I do see you trying to get a lot of, putting a lot of love into your career. Some of you, I really see that in the month of October. Let's see what's going on for this eclipse. Foundation is Ace of Pentacles, so there's a lot going on right now. I saw this in the collective reading that I did for Rumble on the political astro tarot. A lot of these issues of trust, security, stability, foundations coming up. And again, I'm being brought back to Jupiter going retrograde in Gemini in your 4th house on the 9th. Are you rooted securely? Have you established a strong foundation? Have you released, in the previous month with that lunar eclipse in Pisces, have you released things that have been maybe a part of your identity, maybe health issues that need to get healed, but have been interfering with your ability to stabilize something or to secure something or to build trust in some kind of way? The main issue is there may be a timeout going on where you're not talking, not really opening up. And it could be that you felt you needed to just hold yourself back. I do see that you will be focused on your career, and why not? Because, you're gonna look with Venus going into Sagittarius in your 10th house in October. This is super benefic for your career, so no wonder you're focusing on that. It looks like you're reevaluating something. You're trying to give something a second chance, and you got a lot of 10s here. I'm gonna say that. Outcome is going to be wonderful. Wow. I'm gonna have to clarify that, but that looks really good. But I'm also seeing 2 10s. And then I'm seeing a 20, a 4, and then 2 4s, which make an 8. What does this mean? I'm seeing patterns here of endings, completion, culmination. And these are probably endings that make way for new beginnings with the solar eclipse over the next 6 months. You could be giving something a second chance in terms of a family situation, maybe shared resources. If this is not career, this is shared values, shared resources, generational wealth. Hmm. Some of you are not opening up about money issues. Or somebody is closed off about money. Okay, there's money issues maybe that need to get healed, or somebody has not been giving to something and it looks like somebody has shut down. And it looks like someone has not made any forward movement because of an air sign, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Could be a masculine. And it's also an energy of, I know, this is a very mental energy, like I have logically deduced in my mind that I need to sit back and lay low right now, and I need to hold back. There's a lot of holding back in the current past energy. But in the future, it looks like, you're going to be making, you're going to be making some swift movement ahead. Some of you, again, there might be a house move here, and this would be, it's either a swift change with your career, or somebody moving within the family, a house move. Somebody is, or they're just making a move. They're making a move with their career that is really bold. Somebody could be getting also like an offer, right? Offer coming in really quick, and that looks good. Now we do have Virgo, the Virgo card, Hermit in reverse. So it's kind of an interesting, this is what's hinging this all together. Major arcana, this is a spirit in the undercurrent. Again, maybe why we were picking up on a lot of faded energy in the previous month. It's like you are maybe pulling back, right? Currently in the past and in the undercurrent, there's some energy of hold back, and you don't have to. With that in reverse, you don't have to pull back, but somebody decides, or again, you're feeling spirit led to just hold off, wait, pull back, because there needs to be something reassessed, or somebody's waiting for a second chance. Somebody is also, maybe they got to take their time to let something go because they're holding on to something that needs to get healed. And I'm just hearing it takes time, okay? So there's a timing issue that somebody's, and I'm also hearing it takes what it takes to reassess something, let something go, to get the wake-up call that they need to come out of this Hermit in reverse energy, which is isolation. Maybe feeling like they're having to go it alone, feeling like they are not being supported by family, by friends, feeling like, well, I don't have to withdraw, but I really don't want to get too involved. The outcome is, and this fell out in reverse as well, Eight of Wands, my bad, in reverse. This is communication problems, okay, within a family. And that is why there seems to have been no progress. because there's problems with communication. There might also be problems with people living too far apart to really communicate well or invest in relationships at a level that is required for healing. If there's just too much emotional, physical distance between family members or a marital partner, that is something that is has provided a lot of delays, unfortunately, in making progress within this family. It has brought about a lot of frustration, and there's been slow or no progress. I would advise, based on what I'm seeing there, that if you want to make matters improve more fast and more quickly, more substantially within a family dynamic, you're going to have to address the communication and distance issues. Anything more about that? Yeah. It's been a lot of disappointment that comes out of this this issue, that people are not getting what they want out of the relationship. And so I want to also alert you to this, that if there are misunderstandings, communication problems in relationships, particularly family relationships, I am sensing that it's happening when somebody perceives they're not getting what they want. I don't mean to say this, and I don't want to talk down to anybody, but I'm getting kind of a brat vibe. Okay, let's just put it out there. And maybe you need to just have honest conversations about, well, what do you want? What do you want? And I personally find, because, you know, I'm Pisces Stellium, so I relate to a little bit of this, you know. And I'm going to tell you that what I have noticed is a lot of people, because of the way this culture is, they have a hard time, you know, owning what they want out of the relationship, because they don't want to come across as needy. They don't. But then if I don't know what you want or need, then how do we try to meet those needs? If you can't say, I need you to be here for me, I need you to show up, or I really would like you to be more involved, or I would like for you to be more available. But you got to have that conversation, number one. And number two, everybody needs to be honest and just own it. And maybe they can't get what they want, but say it anyway. You know? Because some of us, especially with Aries and Chiron right now for us collectively, a lot of people are dealing with self-worth issues, that they feel they can't ask for what they really want, because people are going to be like, well, who do you think you are? Well, who do I think I'm not? You know? And you got a lot of other people who are insecure because they're not being told that they're wanted or needed or anything like that. I had a family situation, side note, where I know my, you know, one of my daughters means well, but she's a very independent person, and it's a great thing, but the downside is I think it's hard for her to say, I want you, or I need you, or whatever. And then after a while, it just kind of feels like, well, I mean, I could come or go, and I guess it doesn't matter. So I started making jokes with her over the last month or so. I said, oh, do you need that? Do you want that? Oh, you want me? Oh, okay. Because she would never say it like that, but that's what it is. It's okay to want people. And, you know, sometimes we want to be wanted, right? But do people have the vulnerability to step up and say that? That might be something that needs to get worked through in some of these family dynamics. All right, let's see what 5-card spread comes up for Pisces in November. Show me November. Oh, well, we already got the, oh dear, oh dear. So we've got a 10 of Wands and a Queen of Wands. Some of you could be dealing with a Sagittarius, Leo, Aries female. And this person might have a lot of responsibility, might feel some kind of heaviness about them. Not sure what that was about, but it just came out randomly. Some of you could be embodying that energy where you're trying to get more determination about tackling these heavy matters in your life. Whatever's been weighing you down, you decide that you're gonna muster up the courage to lay some things down that have been heavy burdens, possibly involving a Capricorn or a very toxic marital partner or a toxic commitment, maybe a Taurus. Now I'm getting Taurus and Capricorn. Let's see November for Pisces. Well, it looks like you do have a clean start, okay? It looks like that's at the foundation. But the main issue here is, here we are again, holding back, 8 of Swords, just like the month prior. You're carrying some past energy back into November that has been with you since before September. I'm sorry, since before October. There's that karmic wheel again, round and round. So in the past, circling the drain about something, and in the future, 7 of Swords. Let's see about that. What's hinging this all together? Ace of Chalices. There might have been a baby that was born, or something about fertility, growth. Again, more about healing things. The outcome is there's going to be an investment made. Some kind of investment made, okay? Why is Pisces holding back still? Why is Pisces holding back still? Please show me. Change, great fortune, unexpected income, family room, imprisonment, main female. There is something going on with a woman and she is probably a family member, and she may be in some kind of debt or money woes, and trying to get some kind of change in her financial situation, possibly to make a move, like a physical move. So I guess this is holding back for money issues because somebody's trying to make a major change with their life, possibly involving a house move. Okay, so I get it now. The money is not there yet. So I gotta hold back, I gotta lay low right now, and I gotta wait for this money to come in. The karma has to do with a man, and I'm going to say I don't know that this man necessarily has a lot, I don't know that he's necessarily got a lot of money. He might, but I'm getting more than that. Is there's like a lot of money on the table. I'm hearing something about a lot of money on the table, and that's at the foundation that needs to be given. Something about Christmas time, things maybe getting a generous offer from this man around Christmas time. And again, is this, it's like I'm getting something about slow walking it. Slow walking it because we're waiting on Christmas time or something to be given, holiday season, for somebody to give money. If this is not like an ex spouse or an ex partner, this is, it could be a, whoever's supplying this money, an employer, whoever's got the money to supply. I'm not saying they're filthy rich. They might owe a lot of money, or there's something expected about money coming in around December. It looks like in the near future somebody is going to try to get some expansion, but I want to caution you against deception in yourself and others. And this would be somebody who is at a far distance from you, okay? There might be something with September that is relevant. I'm also seeing summertime, last summer, next summer, something about summertime and long distance travel. And here we are again with a Lover's card and Judication. So again, there might be somebody through alimony or child support who is living from a distance. They may owe money. There may be an expectation that they bring money in, that they pay money because there's been a court order. But I'm sorry to say, there's a lot of lying, cheating, thieving going on with this, okay? So, like, can you count on that? I don't know about that. I think there's going to be some kind of beliefs may come into this situation where you start looking at, can I believe this person? Again, here we go with this theme of truth. Can I believe this person? They have lied to me. They've stolen, which really reveals the condition of their heart. Selfishness. Can I really trust this person? Can I lay a solid foundation with this person? Because it's looking sketchy. I'm just going to be straight with you. And best case scenario, that Seven of Swords is, I'm going to get another strategy, okay? Because you could be dealing with somebody who's very evasive. They're not being upfront and making sure the exchange is fair. And this might have gone on for a very long time. I feel honestly I opened up a can of worms. We'll see what happens in December on that. But At the foundation, it looks like, you know, there's a need to heal this, okay, with the Ace of Chalices. There may have been a birth of another child within the family, or there's maybe hope of having children within the family. And again, if you're like not at that age stage in life, it could be a grandchild or a great grandchild. Um, it could be a friend's, you know, family member. You take it how it applies. But I'm also seeing that there is some kind of undercurrent catalyst trying to initiate more emotional, spiritual growth for somebody to open up their heart, because I am seeing that there's an issue of selfishness having to be addressed beyond November. And if it were to get healed, because that's what the undercurrent of the energy is pushing, is let's heal this selfishness. How do we do that? By loving other people. How do we love other people? We take their best interests as our own. And that's the problem with whoever was sneaking around doing things on the DL. They want what they want. And I'm getting the brat energy again. I'm getting some kind of brat energy going on of, you know, immaturity. Somebody needs to grow the beep up, okay? But this could open up a lot of strong emotions. I just saw a child at the bottom of the deck. Let's see. And now I'm seeing a mature woman, okay? So I'm getting, and it's kind of mimicking the card of an adult woman and a child. Okay, this could be 3 generations here: grandmother, mother, grandchild. But it could also just be this dichotomy of we've got to mature from being emotionally at a childlike level, you know, having the emotional maturity of a child, to getting into the emotional maturity of an adult and of a mature adult. There's got to be some kind of maturation, is what I'm getting. A maturation process is at the undercurrent here of we have to, it's time to grow up. It's time to give to something, whether you think it's fair or not, or if it's, especially if you've been dealing with somebody unfair, it's time for them to start considering other people and creating win-win solutions in a relationship, and realize that it's not all about them and what they want to do and what they want to hear. Okay. So the outcome, well, here we go again with the false person. So that's twice. 2 sevens I'm seeing as well. 10, 1. So more of this endings and beginnings, what I saw back in October. I'm seeing a continuation of that, but I do see options starting to open up for you. Cathartic change going on. However, there's a deceptive person in the midst where you're just not getting all the information. And it might be in a message. It could be, you know, a text message, email, voicemail, whatever. Somebody saying they don't feel good. And maybe even saying they got a doctor's note. And this is somebody who has been married. You know them through marriage. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of that. Can I just say, like, I'm getting a vibe like somebody's gonna try to dip out of some commitments, okay? This could be a legal contract. getting some legalities as well. Either this is a legal contract you're in, or this is involving a relationship that has been legally binding, like a marriage. Or maybe you shared a lease together. Somebody was on a lease or a mortgage or a car note or something together, or a bank account. But I'm getting another card of reevaluating how much have I put into this already, and how much longer, because somebody is looking for a payoff for their investment. But unfortunately, did you invest in bad ground? Did you sow your seed in infertile ground? And Spirit's trying to get you to say, hey, we want you to grow, we want you to reap a harvest, but you're going to have to sow into fertile ground. And these deceptive people, it's again, it's like this tower situation that I saw from the beginning. Let's go on to December, and let's see what comes up for December. If I can clean my mess. Yeah. I honestly feel it's looking like a lot of family stuff going on so far, and you got a snake in the grass. I ain't gonna lie. Somebody's not ready to deal with reality. Or somebody doesn't want you to know everything. They're not really disclosing everything to you, okay? Please show me December. Please show me December for Pisces. See, there's that Five of Cups again, and the Fool. So somebody, if they just la-di-da go off and do something rambunctiously, they might get disappointed, okay? And it looks like there is a brand new start. For some of you, it might be a new love, especially if you're an older woman, okay? Like, you might, I know that sounds like crazy, but especially if you're like, oh, I'm over it. When hell freezes over, right? But somebody might take a chance on love, okay? But I do want to caution you with this, looking at the entire spread, you need to be very judicious. Is that the word I want to use? Like, you need to be very discerning about who you take a leap of faith with, because I know there's a snake in the midst out here, or you're just not getting all the information, whether it's intentional or not. So you're gonna have to be very strategic. Very strategic. Okay, show me December, please. 5 cards spread for Pisces. Aha, I like it. Things are moving forward, it looks, in December. And this is, I'm glad to see this, because what I saw earlier was this in reverse, that things were not progressing. Things were not moving forward. The communication was, messed up. But now with it in the upright in December, finally things start moving forward. The main issue, here you have this Judgment card again, which was back in October. And that was in the undercurrent of the situation. Now it's the main issue. Do I want to give this a second chance? And somebody might be getting a wake-up call, okay? Somebody is really looking at, I am getting raised consciousness, okay? I am getting somebody really ascending to a higher understanding about things in life. I am, again, getting more of this maturity, but on a spiritual level. In the past, it looks like there was a tower. Fallout of some kind, because why? There's no integrity to something. Where was the lack of integrity? It was in telling the truth. Here we go again. Because you're dealing with somebody in your midst who is, I don't know, not playing with the full deck. You know, they're playing with a stacked deck so they can get what they want, and it wasn't fair. Now, in the future, you're like, hey, we're going to be fair about this, and you're going to be accountable. Libra might be relevant. Or, you know, South Node in Libra might be relevant, where you're releasing some relationships and you realize, you know what? This relationship ended because, you know, I try to make something work that's not workable. And the fair thing to do for all parties involved is to let this thing fall out. We'll see. I'm going to clarify it further. There's that Seven of Pentacles again. But now it's in the undercurrent of, well, you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. What are you sowing into? Back to this, are you sowing good seed into fertile ground? Are you watering it? Are you weeding it? Are you maintaining it to reap the harvest? Or did you sow into barren ground and then you show up empty-handed? Outcome is there's going to be progress, and it might involve a Cancer or a Sagittarius. Tell me what this Judgment card is about. Hangman in reverse and the Empress. Again, fertility issues maybe involving a mother, a feminine, getting growth. But with Hangman in reverse, we're looking at an issue of somebody who's been hanging on to a fantasy, and maybe that's what's being reevaluated here, and might be concerning a mother or motherhood, of my ideas of how to get something to, how to nurture growth in my life, or how to be nurtured. It's not based in reality. This, by the way, can also represent Pisces. I hate to see Pisces like that, but you know, it's the martyr. I prefer to see y'all as the high priestess, or I should say us. But let's just keep it real. I mean, were you hanging on to a fantasy that made you a victim of your own illusions? That left you stuck, wasting time, waiting around for something. And I'm going to say, going back to these previous months, if you are holding back and, I don't know, saving money and saving up to make a move and holding back because you're waiting on somebody to give you some money, but are they trustworthy? You might have a wake-up call that this person is not the way to getting growth and prosperity and abundance. There might also be some revelations that get downloaded to you in December about a feminine, a wife, a mother figure, or motherhood. Somebody realizing that, you know, after doing a bit of life review, realizing this is not what I thought it was. Me waiting around for this it's not realistic. It's not realistic, and it's hindering growth. And if I want growth, I'm going to have to let this go. It's a wake-up call that what's required for growth is something else. This, I really think, is a family matter. There's been some kind of fallout, grief. And again, it might have to do with a Cancer or a Sagittarius. Some kind of fallout with this person, and I just think there was a lack of integrity, wholeness, honesty. And I'm getting something about derailed, like you had your path planned and forward, and you might have again had a really fixed idea that your life was going to go in a particular way that was going to lead to growth and abundance, but no, because this person wasn't, they weren't playing with a full deck, okay? Sorry about the dogs. Let's see in the near future. Hopefully they'll stop barking. Somebody, it looks like, decides to drop the burden. There we go with Judgment. I mean, this is the third Judgment card I have gotten in this 3-month spread. 4-month, really, if we count. You know, I've been reading since September. But there is something very key here about somebody getting a wake-up call. I don't know why now I'm getting the Folgers coffee commercial. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. Like, wake up and smell the damn coffee. I don't know what this is about. It's like, okay. Oh man, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, okay, so look, there's something, it's a karmic lesson. It might involve a Libra, but it might just be about these relationships in the South Node, again, in Libra, and having a fallout and having to release certain people, at least for now. Because it's just not fair to continue on. If it's not going to be a fair exchange, if they don't want to be accountable, if they want to kind of dip out and be evasive and deceptive and leave out information or whatever, they don't want to hear the truth, they don't want to deal with the truth. I mean, you might really, the most fair thing to do is to say, okay, go live your fantasy land, but you got to do it elsewhere. You can't, I'm not going to cooperate with your delusion, okay? Because I'm here to get this locked down, okay? I'm here to get this moving, all right? And if you're not ready to clean the slate of all this nonsense, you just want to keep it going keep it moving the way it's always moved, with this, evasive and all of that, then I can't, we can't walk together, right? If two are not agreed, how can they walk together? Somebody wants to live in the truth and another person does not. So I do see that somebody is making a decision here. It is fair, it is just, it is fated in a relationship to drop a burden, especially if this is a situation where somebody has not been pulling their own weight or doing their fair share, and it's been creating a lot of stress because somebody has avoided responsibility. Maybe they had a court order, maybe they had a legal agreement that they were going to pay and do XYZ, but there's an avoidance of responsibility, and somebody may have gotten overextended. Let me say this, if somebody overextended themselves financially, it looks like there's going to be a court decision that's going to make somebody very happy here, and yet it comes after It comes on an issue of major disappointment. That somebody did not give to the situation what they were hoping, expecting, what they had agreed to, an assigned contract. And I'm just going to say, be careful about legal situations. And because I keep getting a family dynamic for you, this may not be your legal situation. It may be somebody else's. Somebody else in the family. And again, you could be getting a message, hearing about this at the end of November. But beware, I don't know that you're getting all the information, okay? And again, this might go back to an issue that disappointed you in late October with that Four of Cups showing up again, and I saw it in the outcome in October. Finally, there's some accountability, there's some kind of justice, some kind of decision made about it that leaves somebody happy and pleased, like, okay, finally, some fairness here. I get somebody has been waiting on good money to come in. And honestly, I've been seeing it all throughout the spread through various cards that somebody's holding back, somebody's penny pinching, somebody's trying to make a change, but they're waiting on something to be given to them, something that maybe should have been given legally, but this person dipped out, was evasive, wasn't on the up and up. And you know, and the sad thing is, dear God, did you or somebody else, maybe a child, okay, could be a younger earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, may have invested in something, hoping, wishing, thinking it was a good investment, but I'm sorry to say, this is a page. This is not a king. So I don't know that this person has a lot of money. Right. I mean, this is like not a great investment. Okay. I mean, can I just say it? Like, you're waiting on some good money needs to come in, but what did you invest? Did you invest in a page of, ooh, sweet Jesus? And that's at the foundation. Somebody might have got their heart broken. Or they felt like somebody has not been loyal to them because what this person brought to the table was a day late and a dollar short. And that's kind of hinging it all together. There is careful what you invest in, because somebody maybe doesn't have it to give, or won't, because they're disloyal. I'm sorry. The outcome, it looks like somebody decides to get closure with a Sagittarius or a Cancer. And there's a card of victory there, and it might be, again, about the truth. The truth of the matter is, this has been a major karmic cycle. We're looking at maybe 29 years somebody's been dealing with this, okay? But somebody decides they're going to do something to move their life forward in light of the truth of the situation. It could be a very stressful truth, an uncomfortable truth, a rude truth, but somebody decides, enough. I'm going to tell you, with this circling the drain crap that I kept getting through this whole reading with that Wheel of Fortune back there, right? It came there and it came somewhere else. There it is. It's closed. It's down the drain by the end of December. And somebody decides, we're shutting the chapter on this. I got the memo, and I am going to move on with my life, whether, with or without you. with or without your cooperation. It's a wild message. Let me see if I can get you some advice. Let's get some advice for Pisces. Let's get some advice for, oh wow. Wizard of Awareness. Well, if that ain't Pisces, I just don't know what is. I mean, y'all are like the wizards, right? I do see a lot of, I told you earlier, raised consciousness, okay? With the Judgment card showing up, what, 3 times in this whole reading? Your consciousness is raising. Making a choice. Oh yeah, we saw it. And again, that's that Judgment card and stuck in the mud. I think that you're not going to like me saying this because I don't like hearing it with my Pisces stellium. But based on the spread and these cards and everything, I think some of you are stuck because you made a decision to go a direction that was not the path. And you made some decisions, maybe even the last quarter of this year, making decisions to hold back, to lay low, to be frugal, to be waiting on somebody who I don't know you can really wait around on them, because this person could leave you like this. And so you may be the reason why you're stuck, because you determined in your own mind. 8 of Swords, right? You were maybe hoping and wishing that eventually this person was going to get you out of a tight spot, but will they? Again, if this person is coming with 7 of Swords energy or Page of Pentacles energy, they're not gonna get you out of this hole. I'm sorry to say it. At least not based on this time frame right now. And so it puts you back to that Judgment, reevaluating your choices, and that 7 of Pentacles. What do I invest in from this point on? What is fertile ground? What is going to replenish me? What is going to give me a return on my investment? And then making a decision, I think, by the end of this year. And some of you really making some powerful decisions that you will not be circling the same drain in 2025. Especially with the North Node going in your sign, Jesus. That's going to be what, first thing in January. Yeah, January 12th of 2025. And we got to talk about that. That's major. That's why these eclipses are now happening in your sign. And they will continue to for the next year and a half. And also your opposite sign, Virgo. When Virgo is going through eclipses, you're going to feel that as well, because it's your opposing house, right? So deep stuff that I think is shifting, shaking up your consciousness. It's raising your awareness. I'm hearing to a higher octave, which I would think would be for music or sound or whatever, but, well, everything's frequency, so take it how it applies. But I do believe that since Saturn has been in Pisces, there has been an incredible maturation process that you've been going through. And I saw it here, by the way, in November with that mature woman and next to the child and everything. You have been going through a maturation process that you're coming out of next May, when Saturn finally goes into Aries. And it might very well have to do with decisions you're making with your life from this point on. And probably, yeah, that Saturn and Pisces transit might have made you feel like this, stuck with some karmic lessons, some karmic decisions. But hopefully going into next year, you know, the being tested and tried and taken to task that Saturn does when he's on our sun sign, you're like, never again. No more circling the drain. Flush that down the commode, right? Listen, I'm going to leave it off at that, Pisces. But I would definitely encourage any of you who are wanting to set plans for the new year, reach out to me. Let me know if you would like a private reading, because and I'm saying this for Pisces and also Aries as well. I mean, y'all got some stuff going on next year with those nodes going in your sign and Saturn changing. Major stuff. And let me know if I can help you make a plan for the new year, because I'm definitely seeing that's going to be the path forward to victory, is closing the chapter on some things and getting a move on from it. All right, that's all I got for now. Be blessed.